when there's absent parents, you're naturally going to have regret because no one's teaching you, no one's putting you in the right environment.
And I think most people are chasing the camaraderie because with gangs, when I was very young, that was one of the things that
people
I never could wrap my mind around.
People just want to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
Right, you want to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. So if you're in a situation, you're chasing that camaraderie. That's why sports is so integral to, you know, that child's growth, to learning the discipline, to being around, being held accountable, recognizing that your action doesn't only affect you, it also affects somebody else. Because I can't tell you the countless amount of times where you could look at videos of people in courtrooms when they're sentenced to an umpteenth amount of years in prison. Okay, you're going and you're doing the time. You're not even, doesn't even register in your mind the effect that it has on the other individual. If you now put that child, you put whoever into like a karate class, or you put them onto a football team, you put them in a spot where their actions also affect their teammates. Like one of the things with parenting that I always thought, if at any point I'm given the blessing of being able to have children, I would have a situation where if one person fucks up, we all have to reap the punishment. So, all right, cool, let's just say it's like push-ups or whatever. Well, this person messed up at school. Great, the whole family does push-ups now.
And the thing you get from that is accountability.
Accountability, because
Everyone
you
else
recognize
holds you
what
accountable.
you do doesn't affect you, it affects somebody else.
Exactly.
So because that's the case, we have a lot of these children where you come from a broken home, now you go out, the streets become your mentor. Now with that being the case, what you're not recognizing is the cause, or I should say whatever it is that you do, the effect of that cause of whatever it is that you do affects all of your loved ones. And you were never, it never registered in your mind that they could be affected. You thought, well, if I just fuck up, I just fuck up. No, it fucks up everything that's around you.
Human beings innately, we want to belong.
Right.
We want to belong to something. Whether it's an entrepreneurship community, I see a lot of these entrepreneurs that are like, this is my entrepreneurship community, and they're all positive. People want to belong to something. They belong to gangs. Oh, this is my set. I rep these colors. They want to feel like they have people that have their back, but more than that, they want to feel like they have people they have common ground with.
Right.
And I think a lot of that's why you have church groups. That's why you have gangs. That's why you have Facebook groups of like niche stuff, entrepreneurs. You have private Telegram groups. You have Discords. You have video game groups. People want to be part of a community. They want to feel like they belong somewhere. And most of the time, when people grow up in broken homes, the only place that accepts them are the streets, because they take anybody.
Yeah, they take anybody.
They take anybody.
Yeah,
They'll be like, oh, yo, you don't got nothing to do today? Just come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Right? They're the most unfortunate part about gangs and street culture is it's the most accepting.
Yeah, it's the most accepting. And then what sucks the most is there's a warped sense of honor and not, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's honor, and then also because there's no honor amongst thieves. So that's on the back end. Like if you were to look into like the history of the mafia, when people started squealing on each other, it's like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be family. This family came first. We all did the crime together, so obviously you'd go and do the time. What you don't recognize is ultimately they're just chasing that camaraderie. The moment that that's not there, I'll turn on you immediately.
100%.
Right? So with that being the case, that's one of the things that they don't see. It's on the back end. It's not on the front end.
And the thing
most
about
people fall in love with the front
groups like
end.
gangs or the streets, they're the most accepting, but the reason they're the most accepting is because they have the lowest standards.
Yeah, lowest standards.
Like a job at McDonald's, and again, not hating on McDonald's jobs, but like a job at McDonald's, the reason that it's so easy to get their job is because they have low standards. The reason it's so easy to get accepted into street culture or a gang is because they have the lowest standards.
Yeah.
And in order for you to get accepted into a higher group, or a group with a higher purpose or more accountability, something that's more honorable, they require more work from you.
Yeah.
In order to be a part of a basketball team, they require you to put work in. They require early practices, right? They require you to do a lot of things that you might not want to do, and if you don't do it, they get mad at you and they might kick you out.
Yeah.
Because like any basketball team, if there's a person that doesn't work as hard as everyone else, they don't want that poison in their group. They don't want that cancer in the group.
Exactly.
But those people are the ones that are accepted by gangs and
right, because it's the path of least resistance. So then it's almost like everything that is worth substance, and it could all go back to our original conversation about, you know, Khabib versus McGregor. When you're in a situation where the path of least resistance is there, you'll always fall victim to the hedonism. You'll always find yourself going out of your way to go join that group that has the lowest amount of standards. You want to be in a situation to where you're honorable, You're highly sought after. You're somebody where you can look back and have no regret in what it is that you did. You have to be in a situation to where you take the highest level of resistance. You know you're going to go through that adversity. You know you're going to go through a very rigorous kind of experience in order to get to where it is that you truly want to achieve. Because nobody who you really revere and wish you could be like ever got to that point doing nothing.
100%. Even in the lowest circles, let's say gangs or drug dealers, cartel even. Yeah. You look at someone like Pablo Escobar, right? It still took him a tremendous amount of work to get to where he's at. So you could hate him, you could say he's an evil guy, because I could agree with that. But at the end of the day, even to get to the top of that circle or top of that position, he put in a lot of work. He was very calculated. He did a lot of things that a lot of people weren't willing to do. You know, so regardless, to get to the top of anything, it's going to require work. It's going to require discipline. It's going to require commitment.